Hello, wonderful people. Andy here. Really cool story. We had two guys in our coaching program who were twin brothers. They both came to the program separately, but at about the same time. And it was a hell of a lot of fun to work with both of them. They'd both been trying to get laid and meet some women for about 2 years. They'd both approached about 8 women each. One of them had only had sex with one woman, and the other guy hadn't had much more experience than that. And we sort of turbocharged that in the coaching for them. So we got them both talking to a ton of girls. We got them both making out with girls in bars and clubs. They were able to walk up to women and just say, "Hey, you're sexy," talk for a bit and say, "Can I make out with you? Can I kiss you?" Some of the women said yes. It was really fun working with these two twins. So I'll read out one of the final posts of one of the brothers and sort of celebrate his wins. And I'll do the other brother in a separate video because they, are obviously two individual people. We made a joke a ton of times that they were both, clones and that they could kind of switch it up when they went on dates with girls. But anyway, separate discussion. So this brother that I'm going to talk about got laid, got a new job, approached 7 girls in a single night. He made out with a bunch of girls by just saying, "Can I kiss you?" and nothing more complicated than that. He let go of a lot of his sexual shame and he became a lot more peaceful and happy. Like when he came to us, he was very much beating himself up. He was a very angry man. And by the time he left, he was very much a peaceful, gentle warrior. So let's read out his final post, and I obviously have his permission to share all of this. All right, all, gather round for my last post. This will be an epic tale of heroism, perseverance, and manliness. Yes. He showed a hell of a lot of courage for sure. I started the coaching program with a lot of embarrassment and insecurity about my lack of dating life, and that's probably something a lot of you can relate to, right? It's very easy to beat ourselves up if we haven't had a lot of experience or we're not very good at something or we haven't had practice. Working on this on my own for 2 years, I had cold approached 8 girls, I had 4 dates, and I had lost my virginity from dating apps. I know, even back then I was kicking ass. He's joking, but he definitely came to the group, and so did his brother as well. Both of them came with a lot of shame about the fact that they'd been working on this for 2 years, and they felt like all they had to show for it was, we'd had sex with 1 or 2 women each. We've only approached 8 girls. They had a lot of shame about that. And so I kind of, in the early days, talked both of them through it and said, look, you've done an amazing job, both of you, on your own. You've approached 8 women. That's more than the average guy would do. That's amazing. And now we're going to turbocharge this. So you don't need to feel shame about the fact that you've only approached 8 girls in 2 years. Let's celebrate that as a win. You've done an amazing job. You've approached 8 women in 2 years. That's incredible. Now we're going to get you to go out there and approach 8 girls in a night. We're going to get you to go out there and do a little bit more. So yeah, a lot of you will feel shame because you haven't done a lot. You feel like you haven't done a lot. But if we can start celebrating those little victories and those little wins and the steps that you have taken, and then just take some more steps, However, I joined the program to fast track my results. During the program, I've learned the power of baby stepping goals, mindset, volume, and honesty, especially the honesty one. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Highlights include bursting through a 3-month break on cold approaching. Yeah, both of the brothers came to me and felt like they were in a bit of a rut. And a lot of people come to me for that. A lot of you watching feel like you're in a bit of a rut and you're like, I can't talk to women, or I can't go to the gym, or I can't work on my business, whatever it might be. And a lot of the time I say, look, it's not even a rut. You just haven't taken action. So let's just take action. Like, we don't have to sit there and overanalyze what might be wrong. Why am I in a rut? Why am I avoiding cold approaching? How come I haven't done it for 3 months? I don't give a shit. Go outside and say hello to a woman. If you can't do that, go outside and walk around thinking about it. And that's what this brother and, his other twin brother did. At the start, they couldn't approach. Like, literally when they came to the program, we said, hey, do you want to go outside and try? Just go outside today and see what happens. And they both tried for like a week of going outside trying to talk to women, and they couldn't. And I was like, brilliant, good. Now we know that you can't do it. Amazing. Go outside and try smiling at some of them. And then we slowly built up from there. It's the same stuff that I put in my approach anxiety program. I'm not interested in what you can't do. Like, I don't give a fuck. So many of you will sit there beating yourselves up and you're like, I can't cold approach. I don't care. There must be something wrong with me because I can't cold approach. Who gives a fuck? What can you do? And so many of you are not even used to celebrating your wins or thinking about what you can do because you're so hyper focused on what you can't do. You're so obsessed with the idea of like, I can't approach right now. And then you waste all your time sitting there going, why can't I approach? What's wrong with me? Don't give a fuck. What can you do? Go do that. And if you try and do something and you're not able to do it, break it down into a smaller baby step and go do that. And if you can't do that, break that down into a smaller baby step and go do that. There's always something you can do. And so this is what I sort of drill into coaching clients, especially the ones like these two guys that come to the program and they're maybe not able to start approaching at that moment in time, or they haven't done it for 3 months, or maybe they've never done it ever. You know, we get a lot of guys coming to the program that have never had sex, never talked to a woman ever. And for those guys, you know, I will gently say, why don't you go outside today and just try talking to a woman? And if you can't do it, that's okay. Just come back and post and we'll tell you what to do next. And some of them go outside, they walk around for 4 or 5 hours and they're like, I couldn't do it. Brilliant, great. Now here's what you can do. Or let's figure out what you can do and slowly build up from there. And so that's what we did with these two brothers. They literally were not able to approach in the first 2 weeks. I was like, cool, great, brilliant. Now we know where you're at. Let's work on what you can do. And for both of them, like I said, it was just go walking around outside, smile at some women, and then from there start giving some compliments. And then from there start telling them that they're sexy or they're pretty or they're cute or whatever, and then start working up from there. So he goes on to say, I bumped up my total approaches to 36. And if we do the maths on that, that means he increased his number of approaches that he'd ever done by 4.5 times. And you might look at that and be like, 36 approaches, that's not a lot. But this sort of highlights that people come to the coaching for a lot of different reasons. And I really want to make something clear. I know it can be very easy to look at the testimonials on my channel, or maybe look at what I've done and compare yourself and feel bad. You know, the people that have had a threesome in their second week of coaching, or this guy had sex with 12 women in 12 weeks. Oh my God, that's amazing. And it can be a little bit harder to celebrate the smaller victories, like 36 approaches. You might look at that and compare it and say, well, so what? Andy's done thousands of approaches. There's other guys that have done hundreds or thousands of approaches in the coaching. And then you just compare yourself and you beat yourself up. And a lot of you listening are doing that. You look at the fact that I have a girlfriend of 7 years at this point, and another girl, Bronwyn, that we've been dating for 2 years, and all the threesomes and all the sex, and then you feel shit about yourself. Or you'll look at the fact that I make X amount of dollars, and you'll feel shit about yourself. But it's worth celebrating the little victories. And 36, by the way, is not little. I know it can seem little compared to the guys, like I said, that have approached thousands of women. But the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and walking up to 36 women that you don't know and hitting on them. And this guy, you know, we'll talk about this in a second. This guy became very ballsy and courageous, even though he was terrified. And for a lot of these 36 approaches, especially the ones in bars and clubs, he would literally tell them, you're really sexy. And that was really terrifying for him to do. And then eventually he got to a point, and so did his brother, where they would both say, can I make out with you? Can I kiss you? And some of the girls would be like, okay. And then they'd make out. That's really advanced shit. And so the number 36 doesn't necessarily tell the full story. And I guess I'm trying to give some context here, because I know a lot of you struggle to give yourself credit. There's a guy in my coaching group right this second who really gives himself a hard time and really struggles to give himself credit. And I will sometimes hit the pause button with this guy and be like, dude, you went up to 5 women today and said hello. Most guys can't do that. And so the same thing to this guy. He approached 36 women. Most guys can't do that. Most guys can't even get close to that. I went 28 years of my life only having ever approached 1 woman in my entire life that I didn't know in a club when I was really fucking drunk. And so 36 is amazing. So yeah, if any of you were in a similar situation where maybe you've approached 10 women in your entire life or something, give yourself credit for that. I know it can be easy to play this comparison game and feel shit, but 36 is fucking amazing. Whatever any of you at home have done is fucking amazing. Let's celebrate that. And then let's just slowly work on doing a little bit more. Let's slowly work on opening ourselves up, being a bit more vulnerable, being a bit more honest, being a bit more men and women of courage and action and all of that. So 36, brilliant. He's working on reaching 100. He will absolutely get there. In one night, he approached 7 girls. And so this is the shit that I want to celebrate. You know, he went his entire life having only ever approached 8 women in his entire life. And then he did almost that again in one fucking night. That's incredible. And I think he says it later on in this post, but he was walking up to women and saying like, you're sexy. And like, can I kiss you? Can I make out with you? And his brother was doing the same. So again, I want to celebrate these little victories, or these seemingly little victories. There are no small victories. Every victory is a fucking step forward for all of you. So celebrate those wins. He goes on to say, I overhauled my Tinder profile. Yeah, he did. We did a lot of, or we got him, and we did the same with his brother to do a lot of photo shoots. And we sort of went over their profile, said, hey, go take this photo. Hey, this one's better. Hey, do this, and all of that. He definitely massively improved his Tinder profile. He had a date from the dating apps and had sex with her. She seemed down for a casual relationship. Yeah. And remember, this is a guy who literally had only had sex once before in his entire life. So to go from that to, I met a woman who's down for a casual relationship. For a lot of you, especially those of you who don't have a lot of experience, like maybe you've only ever had sex once, maybe you've never had sex. Just meeting a woman that likes you and is looking for the same thing you are can feel like the biggest fucking victory in the entire world. And it's not a small thing. Again, I know it can be very easy to compare yourself and watch my channel and be like, oh, Andy's out there having fucking threesomes and orgies and blah, 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 and then feel shit. But celebrate every little victory. We're not here to play the comparison game. We're here to celebrate victories and wins and progress. And that's all we care about. So this guy took a ton of action, did a ton of good shit. Got a phone number from Day Game, absolutely. Pulled from Night Game. So yeah, he went out to a club and got her phone number. Became a lot more ballsy with approaches, telling girls they're sexy and asking to kiss them. Yeah, he and his brother, and this comes up a lot in the coaching program, he and his brother were really fucking terrified. Like, this is not a small thing. Like, for a lot of you, if I tell you right now, a lot of you listening, go to a bar or a club, walk up to some women and be like, hey, I just wanted to come tell you that you're fucking sexy. What's up? You put your hand out and you shake your hand and introduce yourself. If I tell you, a lot of you, to do that, you'll go, maybe I could do that. If I actually put you in that fucking bar, you will freak the fuck out and go, I can't do this. I can't do this. Oh my God, there's people here. She's with her friends. I can't do this. And like, fair enough. You're doing something that the vast majority of humans do not fucking do. And so this isn't a small victory. This is incredible, especially the asking to kiss thing. I had so many conversations with this guy and his brother, and this comes up in the coaching all the time, where they're in a bar or they're on a date and there's a girl they really like and they're like, I really wanted to kiss her, but like, how do I escalate? How do I fucking start keynoing and touching and all this like fucking bullshit, right? Like, how do I read the signals and know if she likes me? It's like, stop being fucking weird. Because it's fucking weird, by the way. Like, I would just say that as a general statement. Like, the idea of keynote and escalation and like, you have to be smooth and you have to figure out if she wants to kiss you. It's like, guys, that's fucking weird. How do you know if someone wants to kiss you? You say, do you want to fucking kiss me? Yes or no? Like, do you want to fucking kiss me is how you figure out if they want to fucking kiss you. And so instead of playing all these weird fucking strange games of like, let's read between the lines and try and like fucking mind read someone. None of you can mind read. Anyone on the internet that tells you they can mind read is full of shit. They're so fucking full of shit. And the only way that you know if someone wants to kiss you is you fucking ask them. And so, yeah, these guys were putting all this pressure on themselves to like figure out the signals. Like, does she like me? She played with her hair. She like, and like analyzing bullshit. And so I encouraged him, both of them, both brothers, to just fucking use your words like an adult instead of being a fucking child trying to read signals and mind read and, I can't ask her because then I'll get in trouble and like all this fucking bullshit. And so they were brave enough to do that. And both of them, many, many, many times, would write a post and just be like, holy shit, I went to a bar and I made out with two girls. Holy shit, I was in a bar and I just asked this chick, can I kiss you? And she was like, no. And then we talked for a bit. And then a bit later, she's like, okay, now we can kiss. Like, and then I made out with her. And so, I mean, one of the brothers, it's the other brother, not this brother, but he was in a bar and he said to a chick like, yo, you're really sexy. And she kind of blushed and got really shy and adorable. And they kept talking for a bit. And then he's like, yo, seriously, like, you're really sexy. And she was like, thanks. Like, you're really handsome. And he was like, holy shit, I can't believe she called me handsome. And then he's like, can I make out with you? Can I kiss you? And she hesitated a bit. She's like, I actually have a boyfriend. And he's like, okay, cool. And then they kept talking. And she liked him so much for his fucking courage and balls that he was telling her that he's in the process of like getting a new job and looking for work. And she literally is like, actually, my boyfriend works in your exact sector and he has a job opening. Like, do you want me to put you in touch with him? And he was like, I mean, okay, as long as that's not weird for your boyfriend. And she was like, no, it'd be fine. I'll do it. And so literally got him in touch. And like, I don't think he took that job. But like, this is the kind of shit that happens if you're just courageous and you put yourself out there. Like, weird opportunities open up. And this is not a rare thing. I can't tell you how many times in the coaching group we've had some guy that'll walk up to a girl, just be fucking completely honest and be like, yo, you're fucking sexy. Like, can I kiss you? And she'll be like, no, actually, but. And then they end up becoming like best fucking friends or some shit, or they get a job or something cool. So, yeah, both of these brothers were incredibly freaking ballsy with their approaches. And again, this isn't a small thing. Like, being able to put aside all the bullshit games that men and women play and actually just use your words like a fucking adult and say like, yo, you're fucking hot. I'm not going to play this bullshit game of pretending that I don't think you're sexy. You're fucking sexy. You have no idea how many girls appreciate that shit. And they're like, thank you. Most guys come over here and play bullshit games, asking me bullshit questions that we both know we don't give a fuck about, asking to buy me bullshit drinks and wasting my and their fucking time. Thank you for walking over and telling me what you actually want, which is to have sex with me or get to know me. Thank you for being honest. And then the same thing with asking to kiss. Thank you for not playing fucking games and we spend the next 2 hours flirting and fucking around and all of that. And flirting can be fun, but trying to read signals and like, does he like me? Does he not? Is it appropriate? Can I kiss? Can I do this? It's like, thank you for saving me time. Yes, I'd love to kiss you. And then you make out. Like, guys and girls, a lot of you, especially you men, come here wanting like fucking pickup lines and like the cheat codes and all of this. I'll tell you the quickest way to make out with someone. Go into a bar, walk up to 20 women and just say, hey, you're sexy. I'm Andy, or whatever your name is. Shake her hand. Yo, do you want to make out with me? Do that. And within fucking 3 minutes, you can be making out with a girl. It might even happen on the first girl that you walk up to and say that. And if it doesn't, you just go, that's cool. You go talk to the next girl. Within 3 minutes, you could be making out with a girl. And that might not be what all of you want, but that's the point. A lot of you want these fucking cheat codes for dating, and you're like, how do I escalate? In other words, how do I waste the next fucking 30 minutes trying to read signals and figure out the perfect way to do this when I could just literally save me and her a bunch of time and say, like, do you even want to do this? Like, do you want to make out with me? And then she'll say yes, no, or maybe, and you get your answer. Same thing, by the way, with business. Like, do you know how many fucking people waste all their time with like sales techniques and bullshit like that, and they'll go into like a call with someone and they'll play all these fucking games of manipulation and sales techniques? Why don't you just cut to the chase and be like, yo, do you want the fucking coaching? Yes or no? Yo, do you want to buy my product, or do you want some more information? Like, what do you want? That's how I start every single one of my coaching calls. Anyone who's done a coaching call with me or joined the coaching program will know that I literally started by saying, hey man, what would you like from me? And I just sit there and let them fucking tell me. And some of them are like, I think I want the coaching, man. I'm just scared. I'm worried that I won't make a good decision. And I'll say, cool. Would you like me to help you make that decision? Would you like me to talk through your fears with you? And they go, yeah, that'd be nice. Thank you. And then at the end of it, at the end of all that discussion, I'll just say, so, like, do you want the coaching program? And some of them say, no, I don't think I do. Imagine if I just sat there, and I used to do this at the start, playing fucking games, using fucking sales techniques, wasting all their fucking time and my own time, and then we still get to the same conclusion of like, no, man, I don't want the coaching, but thanks for wasting the last hour of my time and making me feel shit with a bunch of shame-filled techniques and guilt-tripping me and manipulation and sales and all of that. I'd rather skip all those fucking games and just say, yo, I don't have time for fucking games. Do you want this or not? So the same thing in dating. You're basically just saying, here's what I'm looking for. I think you're fucking hot or you're sexy. Do you want to make out with me? Or do you want to talk to me? Do you want to go on a date with me? Are you even single? Do you know how many guys walk up to girls that are not fucking single, but they don't ask? And so they spend the next 2 fucking hours wasting each other's time before they finally walk up the huevos or the balls to say like, yo, by the way, like, I'd love to take you out for a drink sometime. Can I get your number? And she's like, oh, I have a boyfriend. But you didn't fucking ask me. I thought you were just talking to me and being friendly. What am I going to insert and say like, oh, actually, I have a boyfriend? And any girl will tell you this if a girl does insert that. Like if a guy comes up to her and he's just being nice and he's like, hi, how's your night going? If she's like, oh, actually, sorry, I have a boyfriend. Any girl will tell you this. Do you know how many guys reply to that and be like, well, I wasn't even hitting on you anyway. Like, why are you telling me you have a boyfriend? Like, fucking stuck up bitch. And so girls have learned, oh, okay, I shouldn't just tell a guy that I have a boyfriend until he asks me out. And so many guys are out there wasting collectively trillions of hours across this planet, not just saying what they want and wasting the girls' time and wasting their own time. That is why on this channel, we talk about autistic honesty and just saying the fucking truth and not being weird. It's so fucking weird to walk up to someone and hide your intentions. It's deceiving. It's weird. It's based on fear. Like most of the reason why someone holds back and doesn't just say, you're sexy. Do you want to make out with me? Do you want to go out with me? Do you want to have sex with me? The reason they don't say that is fear. What if I get rejected? What if they think I'm politically incorrect? What if they think that I'm weird if I say that? It's based on fear. And ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to live our lives on fear. We're here to be men and women of courage and action. None of these fucking bullshit games. We walk up to people and we say what we fucking want and we give them the room and the space to say yes or no or maybe. If it seems like they're hesitating and can't make that decision, then we say, hey, it seems like a no. No worries. It was good talking to you. Then we go talk to the next person. We are not here to waste time. And this brother and his other brother did a fucking fabulous job of running towards their fears. And both of them were really scared. It was really difficult for them. We had multiple conversations where I was like, what if you just tell these girls that you want to kiss them? And they were like, I can't do that. What if they freak out? What if they reject me? What if I look like an idiot? And I was like, isn't that better than sitting there for 2 hours, wasting time, and then asking them anyway, and then finding out that they don't want to kiss you, or they don't want to date you, or they have a boyfriend. And now you just wasted 2 hours of each other's time. You wasted a collective 4 hours of time when you could have just said, are you single? And she goes, no, I have a boyfriend. You go, okay, cool, next. And then you go talk to the next person. So both of them were scared to do this, especially because they didn't have a lot of experience. And inexperienced guys tend to be extra nervous, as I'm sure you can imagine. A lot of you can relate to that. But these two were brilliant advocates of the truth. They were brilliant advocates of being vulnerable and just walking up to women and telling the fucking truth. And that's all this is. Instead of lying and playing bullshit manipulation games and pretending we don't want something, that's what seduction is, or what a lot of people see seduction as. They're like, how can I seduce someone without them knowing that I'm seducing them? It's like, so how can I lie and deceive and manipulate? That's the question. Same with sales. A lot of sales is like, how can I get someone to buy my product or service and use these techniques on them, but without letting them know that I'm using these techniques? How can I use persuasion techniques and psychology? It's like, so how can I lie, manipulate, and deceive? Again, is that the game that we're playing? I ain't got time for that shit. Like putting aside ethics and honesty and being kind and compassionate and not fucking with people, which is what a lot of seduction and sales techniques is. It is literally manipulating people's mind, fucking with people. And I wouldn't want that done to me, but then I'm going to go out and do that to other people. Putting all that aside, if for no other reason than to not waste time, that's the reason that we talk about honesty and screening and all of this. And by the way, I was not the first person to come up with that. I think that's like a pretty obvious statement. But I want to represent or shout out to my boys that taught me how to screen and how to be more honest and not play any fucking games. The first one was obviously Chris from Good Looking Loser, who was the king of just say what you fucking want. If you find a woman attractive, fucking tell her. Don't waste all these hours playing these fucking pickup games. Caleb Jones, Alpha Male 2.0 is his website, but Caleb Jones was another one who just taught me, why are you playing these drama bullshit games of trying to figure out if a woman likes you, trying to seduce her? Why don't you just fucking tell her that you like her and ask her if she likes you back? Mark Manson as well had a bunch of articles, and he wrote a book called Models. This one down here, Models Attract Women Through Honesty. And the whole book is about like, why are you playing games? Why don't you just walk up to a woman and be like, yo, you're fucking hot. Do you like me? Yes or no? And then I got to give a shout out to my boy, Pat Flynn. Mr. Pat Flynn. He does more business stuff, so his website is Smart Passive Income, but he is a very big advocate in not using sales techniques on people, just being honest, just treating them like they're on the same team as you, treating them like a human, asking, do you want my product or my service? I think it can help you. Do you think it can help you? And then whatever they say, beautiful. Then you go talk to the next person. So yeah, this brother and his other twin brother were both incredibly ballsy with their approaches, and they were very scared to be honest and upfront, very scared to tell women that they were sexy, even more scared to say, can I kiss you? But the first couple of times they did it, I think like the second or third girl that they asked, both of them was like, yes. And then boom, they started making out. So I had a hot blonde girl take my hand and dance with me in a club. I will use that as proof that I am handsome and deserve hot girls. Yeah, so both of these brothers had a little bit of low self-esteem for sure. And that's a lot of people that come to the coaching program. It'll be a lot of you listening. And it's nice when we get those little confirmations that, like, no, I am on the right track. I am making progress. I am having a woman tell me that I'm handsome, or taking my hand and dancing with me, or hooking up with me, or telling me that, I'm a cool, interesting person. It's nice to get those confirmations. And in the coaching program, we give people those confirmations. I'm very giving with my praise. I think I'd phrase it like that. I like to give a lot of compliments, especially if someone is doing a really good job with their self-improvement and improving their appearance and all of that. And both of these guys were handsome. They'd put a lot of effort into improving themselves. They'd made a lot of progress. And so I gave them tons of compliments, but obviously it's nice to hear that from a woman. As handsome as I, Andy, am, I don't have tits and vagina. And so you might not care about my compliments as much as you will from an attractive woman. He says he squatted 65 kilos on his way to 70 and eventually 100. Yeah, so he just sort of had started in the gym, so making some progress there. Being more honest in my dating life, which is carried over into my work life and personal life. Yeah, he did. He became incredibly honest in his dating life. And that's all the coaching clients and all of you listening. Like, really, one of the functions of my channel is to give you permission, all of you listening, to be honest and just say what you want. I talked a second ago about being or screening and just being upfront and saying what you want, being honest and all of that. It's just a permission thing. It's like a leap of faith. The first couple of times you do it, you'll be really scared. You'll be like, but what if the other person rejects me? What if they think I'm weird for just saying what I want? Don't I have to hide my intentions? Think about how fucked up a statement that is. I guess it's not fucked up because everyone else is doing it, but isn't that insane that we all walk around thinking we have to hide our intentions? That's insane. We literally think we have to lie about what it is that we really want because otherwise someone might think less of us. Guess what? Lots of people will think less of you when they figure out that you've been lying to them, which eventually they will. Like, that's the thing that people think less of. People respect and really admire when you're honest and upfront and just say, yo, I find you sexy. Are you single? You have no idea how many people will literally say to your face, wow, you're the first person who's ever been honest with me. Thank you for that. Yes, I would like to go out with you. Literally only because you were honest and upfront. And also because I'm attracted to you. Fine. But like, yeah, if you'd lied to me, I wouldn't have gone out with you. Like, that'll happen a lot of times. A lot of the time, many of you are afraid that if you start being really honest and upfront, that you will like lose people. You'll lose opportunities. No. You will gain opportunities. There are a lot of people that are holding out for or desperate for someone to just be honest and tell them the fucking truth and stop playing these bullshit games of like pretending I don't want something when I actually do. Think about how fucking childish that is. You let go of that bullshit and you just say, this is what I want. Do you want it? Yes or no? That's called being a fucking adult. And for those men of you out there, that's called being a fucking man. Literally saying, this is what I want. Do you want this? Yes or no? Okay, I'm not going to waste your time. You don't want this. Next. Hey, would you like this thing? Yes or no? Okay, you don't want it. Next. Do you want this thing? Oh, you do? Okay, cool. Let's figure out how to make that happen together and make sure we both have a great experience and we add to each other's lives. Great. Now I'm not wasting person number one and person number two's time. And I've saved myself time in both of those instances. And now I get to connect with and build something with person number three. And person number three is like, holy fuck, thank you for saving me time too. Because all the other guys or girls out there were coming up to me and wasting my time too. So thank you for saving me from that. And you both get to be grateful for each other and work on getting each other and yourselves the thing that you want or the things that you want. Instead of wasting time with people that would never want to do the thing with you, but you didn't even fucking ask them yet because you're too busy like wasting a bunch of time. So I really want to drill this point in that these guys were incredibly honest. And that carried over into his work life and personal life. Yeah, he became a lot more honest with his business life and in job interviews. He goes on to say for the last month and a half of the coaching, so, for like half of the coaching, I put a pause on my dating life as my job is being made redundant. I've been on the job hunt. I played the numbers game. I reached out for help with career consultants and I had 4 interviews. And something even more spectacular is, as he sort of hinted at in the previous paragraph, he started being a lot more honest in the job interview process. He was sort of playing games with the job interview process, which a lot of people can relate to. Most recruiters, most interviewers, and most people looking for a job fuck with each other constantly. They treat the other person as the enemy. They're like, oh, I have to make sure I win. They see like job interviews as a negotiation or a battle, especially when they start negotiating like contracts and payments and salary and stuff like that. Most people see that as a fucking war. And what we taught him was like, these people can be on your team, but it's probably going to take you reaching out first and treating them like a teammate rather than an enemy. In other words, it's you being vulnerable and letting down your defenses. And then some of them will let down their defenses too. And those are the people that you probably want to work for. And so, as he said, I found myself being more honest and genuine in the interviews and enjoyed getting to know the interviewers. Yeah. And something else that we got him to do, and his brother also was looking for jobs as well. And we have like a bunch of people that look for jobs and go job hunting. Actually, no, that's not true what I just said. It wasn't his brother that looked for another job. It was another guy in the group. But I get confused because we often have like a ton of people who like midway in the coaching will be like, I think I want a better job. And then they go through that process. The other thing that happens a lot in the coaching that's unexpected is a lot of people end up moving. That's so fucking common. I think because people come to the coaching expecting to make some sort of life changes, and they start having some success. They see that they're more courageous than they thought they were. They see they're more capable than they thought they were. And then they're like, fuck it. Maybe I could do other things. Maybe I could go ask for a salary rate, like a raise. Maybe I could go move and be somewhere where I'm happier. Maybe I can, cut out some of my friendships or family relationships that aren't making me happy. Maybe I can go make a bunch of new friends. Like, people start working up the courage and doing other stuff as well. So yeah, he was really honest and genuine in the interviews. And something that we get him and other people to do is, after an interview where you don't get the job, we encourage people to reach out to the interviewer and just say, hey, I really appreciate your time. That was so cool. Like, thank you for that. Can you give me like one thing that you think I can improve, or one skill that I could upgrade? Like one thing I could do to improve? And you will find that interviewers like answer that question brilliantly. Like, basically we have a 100% success rate of people like interviewers replying to that with good advice. And they'll say, yeah, I think you did a great job. Maybe this little skill is something I'd improve. And then they go, thanks. That's really helpful. Thank you. Like, I really appreciate that. So that's something that we get people to do. And again, that's sort of treating the interviewers like a person, like they're on your team, rather than the enemy. It can be very easy to go to a job interview. They say you didn't get the job, and then you feel bitter and you're like, you almost like butthurt. You're like, fuck that person. Why didn't they hire me? Like, fucking assholes. Like, no. Reach out to that person and be like, hey, I appreciate your time. Is there anything you could tell me to help me improve? And they will. 99.9% of the time, they will. So yeah, same thing with dating, by the way. If you go on a date with someone and they text you afterwards and they're like, hey, I had fun, but I wasn't feeling the chemistry, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to see each other again. Be like, that's so dope. Thank you so much. I'm on a mission of like self-improvement. Is there like one thing you think that I could improve? Or like, what's one suggestion you would have for me being better? And not as a criticism, I don't want you to criticize me, but like tell me so I can improve. And then they will. Like 99% of the time, they'll be like, well, I think you were really easy to talk to and blah, blah, blah. But I think you were a little bit like anxious maybe. And I don't know how to fix that. But I think maybe your nervousness was a little off-putting to me. And then you're like, sweet, thank you. That's really useful. Okay, how do I improve at nervousness? I guess I would just go on a bunch of dates and give myself permission to suck. And eventually I won't care about the nervousness, or I won't be nervous. Okay, like that's useful. And so people will give you useful information. You don't have to take it super seriously, because I guess what I would say is take it with a grain of salt, because it is just one person's opinion. But if you ask enough people, you'll start to see patterns emerge. Like if you go on 5 dates with 5 different people, and they all tell you roughly the same thing, it's like, maybe that's useful. Or if they tell you something that doesn't seem like just their opinion, but it's something that is like objectively helpful. Like if someone just says, oh, you're into tennis and I don't really like tennis, that's not really actionable. That's just their preference. Or if they say, I didn't like that you drank 3 beers, that's just their fucking preference. But if they say, maybe you could work on this skill and then you'd be a bit more confident, or you'd be more interesting, or you'd blah, 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 that might be something to work on. So take it with a grain of salt, but asking interviewers and asking people on dates or after a sexual experience, or even after a relationship, like, hey, is there one thing that you would suggest that I could improve? And tell them, I'm on a mission to improve myself. I'm literally trying to improve myself. Like with that in mind, what can you tell me to help me improve? Rather than just give me criticism and tell me what I did wrong. It's not about what did I do wrong. It's like, how do I improve? So you're saying it in a positive way rather than like a criticism. He goes on to say, I've since accepted a job offer and I'm awaiting responses from other companies in the new year. Yeah, he's in a really beautiful position where he has options now. And so he's literally able to weigh up these different options and say, which one do I want to take? I think he already accepted one. He accepted it like in the last 2 weeks of the coaching before he finished up. And then we were like, cool, great, like you're done. And he's like, no, I think I want to still go to other job interviews and have a bunch of different options. And I said, brilliant. Are you going to be honest and up, or do you want to be honest and upfront with the people? And he thought about it for a bit and he's like, yeah, I think I do. And so this is what I mean when I say this guy was incredibly fucking honest and autistically honest, which I really fucking respect and admire. He went to all the new job, or he emailed the job interviews after he'd already accepted a different job. He emailed all of them and said, hey, I know we have an interview on like Monday. I've already accepted another job interview. Are you cool if I still come to the interview with you and just weigh out my options? And all of them were like, hey, I really appreciate the honesty. Yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And so I really admired that. Like, that's just fucking beautiful shit. That's the same stuff that we talk about. You know, we did a video, this one here on the screen at the very top, how to be an ethical player. And we literally said, look, if you're going to sleep with multiple people, you're going to do like, you know, casual dating or open relationships, just tell everybody. Like before you sleep together, just say like, ideally as soon as you possibly can, but at least at the bare minimum before you sleep with someone, say to them, hey, I'm seeing other people. You know, you can see other people if you want to, but I just wanted to be upfront and honest. Most people will be like, I really respect and admire you for telling me. Some of them will say, hey, maybe that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for monogamy and like one partner at a time. And you go, brilliant. We've just saved each other a bunch of time. Isn't that amazing? You haven't lost the person. You've gained the freedom to go and find someone who's a better match for you. So yeah, same sort of concept with the job interviews this guy was going to after he'd already accepted another job. He's basically saying, by the way, I already have another job that I've accepted. Are you cool with interviewing me? And like I said, all of them were like, yeah, but thank you for the honesty. So yeah, I really admire this guy for that. Finally, and more importantly, I have become more at peace and more positive with my dating life and goals. Listen to what he said, because this can be very easy to miss. And a lot of you, when you watch these testimonials or these like, I guess you'd say like updates of what a client achieved, it's very easy to look at just the raw numbers and be like, okay, so he approached 36 girls, he slept with one girl, and he got a new job. Cool. That's all I care about. No. He literally says, look at what he says. More importantly, I have become more at peace and more positive. And a lot of the time we just gloss over that. We're like, cool, he's happy and peaceful. I don't give a fuck. I just want to know how many times he stuck his dick in a pussy. I just want to know how many dollars in his bank account. I want to know how many followers he has on Instagram. I don't give a fuck about his happiness. I don't give a fuck about my own happiness. I want to get laid, get money, and fuck the happiness shit. Why do you want to get laid? Any of you listening? Why do you want to have sex? Why do you want to improve your dating life? Why do you want to make money and build a business? Why do you want to improve your body? Because you think it will make you happier. That is the entire reason you do it. And yet we often forget about the happiness bit or the peace or the positivity bit. And we're like, no, fuck that happiness shit. I'm going to sacrifice my happiness and my peace and my positivity so that I can grind and hustle and get laid a ton, because that's all that matters, because hopefully that'll make me happy. It's like, so you've just said, I'm going to set fire to my own happiness so that I can do something that I think will make me happy. So I'm literally going to sabotage or sacrifice or ignore or neglect my happiness to do something that'll hopefully make me happy. My happiness is going to go down so I can do something that will make my happiness go up. And yes, sometimes we make a short-term decision that will hopefully result in long-term happiness, but we can do both. You can work on your peace and your happiness and your positivity while you work on your dating life. It isn't binary. It's not one or the other. And what most people think is I have to sacrifice and grind and hustle and be fucking miserable while I work on my dating life or my business or my body. It has to be a sacrifice. It has to hurt. It has to grind. It has to be full of effort and pain. And I have to use willpower and discipline and yell at myself and beat myself up and feel guilt and shame every time I don't achieve something massive. I have to feel like shit for most of the journey, and then hopefully eventually I'll feel good. No, what happens is you get to the goal and it doesn't really make you happy. You have a lot of sex and all of that, but because you've just spent the last 6 months or a year or 2 years or whatever neglecting your happiness, you by that point like by the time you achieve your goals, you don't even know how to be happy anymore. You don't know how to celebrate it. You don't know how to be grateful. You don't know how to sit in that victory and enjoy it. And so what you do is you move the goalposts. You then say, all right, I had a lot of sex and I'm a little bit happier, but I'm not really happy and peaceful. Fuck, maybe I need more money. Maybe money is the thing that's holding me back from happiness. Then you'll spend the next 5 years building a business. You'll be in that rat race or that hamster wheel of making more money, grinding, hustling, the Sigma male grind set. I got to be a fucking alpha male chat. You'll go through all of that. You'll make a ton of money and you'll feel a little bit happier, but you still won't feel really peaceful and positive and deeply content because you're not practicing those things. And so then you'll go, fuck, there must be something else. Maybe my body's not good enough. Maybe I need to do something else. And you'll keep doing this until finally one day it dawns on you, I have been neglecting my happiness. I have put aside my happiness because I thought that I had to chase pussy and then chase dollar bills in my bank account and then chase an elite body and then chase whatever other fucking shit like I thought I had to chase. And yes, those things are beautiful. Those things are great. But if you don't even appreciate them when you're having them, you won't really ever be deeply happy, content, peaceful, positive, and loving. And so we work on our goals while we also let ourselves be happy. We work on achieving things while we also practice a little bit of peace. And we don't have to be perfectly peaceful. We don't have to be perfectly positive. I'm not. That would be fucking enlightenment. And I'm not enlightened. But we work on being a little bit more peaceful every day. We work on being a little bit more positive as we work on our dating life and our general goals. So he goes on to say, I thought being on the hunt for lots of hot pussy will bring me happiness. Fuck no. See, what a fucking wise man. I need to be happy first in order to bring about success. And that's the other thing. If you're a miserable bastard or a miserable bitch, which some of you think that that's what you need to be in order to achieve your goals, if you just walk around fucking miserable, people don't want to spend time with you. People don't want to sleep, or maybe they'll sleep with you a couple of times and then they're like, fuck this guy. He's like on this like Sigma male grind set. He thinks it's him versus the world. He's got a fucking chip on his shoulder, which is another way of saying he's deeply insecure. I don't want to be with this dude. He's not fun to be around. He's not peaceful. He's not positive. He's grumpy. He's like angry. He's like full of fucking rage and he beats himself up. Why do I want to spend time with someone who's an asshole or a cunt to himself? And a lot of you are in that situation and that's okay. I was like that for a long time. I was really hard on myself. I thought that a lot of sex would bring me happiness, and as fun and beautiful as sex is, especially when we build a connection with other human beings and we're very vulnerable and honest, yeah, sex can be amazing, but that in itself will not bring you happiness. It won't. Appreciating that sex is what will bring you happiness, or being grateful for that sex is what will bring you happiness. Like appreciating what you have and being happy right now in the present is what brings you deep happiness. Instead of saying, I'll be happy in the future. When we do that, we're selling out our happiness. We're saying, I'm going to procrastinate or delay my happiness until I have X or Y or Z. No, you're full of shit. You'll get to X or you'll get to Y or you get to Z and you'll go, maybe I need fucking the next thing. Maybe I need B. Then I need C, then D, then E, then F, and you just keep going through the whole alphabet, then you loop all the way back, and you just play this game of moving the goalposts forever. I talked about this in the Play to Win video course. The way that we're happy is by appreciating what we have. And so he realizes all of this. He says, right now, as I list all this out, I am fucking happy because he was able to, or we taught him how. This is kind of what we teach everyone in the coaching program. We taught him how to appreciate what he has, and then just work on having a little bit more in the future. So you still have goals. You're still working just as hard at those goals. If anything, no, that's not even true. You're working harder at the goals. If you can appreciate what you have right now, you feel good. And don't you think the person that feels good is able to achieve way more than the person who feels like fucking shit? So many of you torture yourselves and you think beating yourselves up and making yourself feel like fucking shit is what's going to bring you success and make you take more action. Like literally, you whip yourself and beat yourself up and basically punch yourself in the face and be like, come on, pussy, go out there and talk to girls. And it's like, do you think the person that's literally being bullied right now and feels guilty and ashamed of how he hasn't taken enough action, do you think the person who's being bullied and feels guilt, shame, fear is going to do as good a job going out and talking to women as the guy who feels peaceful and happy and excited and joy. And so really what we encourage in the coaching program, and what I encourage all of you who are watching this video right now and any of the, general audience, work on your goals out of joy, out of excitement, out of gratitude, out of love, out of a higher energy, rather than guilt, shame, fear, beating yourself up, anger, hatred. Yes, if you have those emotions, use them. Like, I'm not saying anger, shame, fear, or guilt is bad. I would never say those things are bad. To say that they're bad would then just be putting more guilt on you. I'd be telling you to feel guilty about feeling guilt, which is just silly. But it's about feeling those emotions, using them, but trying to push yourself up to excitement. Or, you can literally just sit there and fantasize about how exciting your goal is. Literally sit there and say, I'm so excited to work on this goal. And instead of saying, I need to work on this goal, you just change the word need to excited. I'm excited to work on this goal. Instead of saying I should, which is guilt tripping yourself, I should go outside and talk to girls today, you just say, you know what, I'm really excited to go outside and talk to girls today. That automatically elevates you a lot. And you go outside and talk to way more girls. Don't you think? Again, saying the word should, I should talk to girls, that's guilt. Don't you think you will do more if you're excited to do something rather than feeling guilty? What do we do when we feel guilty? Like, if I tell all of you right now, look around your apartment and look at all the things that you haven't done, but you think that you should do them. Like, you really should do that. You should clean the kitchen. Are you fucking motivated to go clean the kitchen right now? Or are you like, yeah, you're right, Andy, I should get to that. And then you just won't, you'll procrastinate. It's why we procrastinate homework, because our teachers tell us that we have to do it, or we should do it, or we must do it, or we need to do it. They guilt trip us. Same as university and most workplaces and lots of relationships. Like, most of the world is run on guilt and shame. Not all religions, but the majority of religions, or the way that people practice religion in a lot of cases, is out of guilt and shame. That's what sin is. Like, sin is a guilt trip. And so most of the world runs on guilt and shame. And that's why we procrastinate. But if I say to you, man, think how fucking cool it will be to have a clean kitchen and do those dishes. Think how happy you'll feel in yourself afterwards. You'll look around, you'll be like, damn, I cleaned this kitchen. This is sparkling. This is beautiful. Man, think how good you'll feel. And then you'll be able to relax and play your video games or whatever it is that you want to do. And you'll be able to enjoy it more because you'll know the kitchen is clean and you did something. You took some action. If I tell you that, feel it within you now. Are you more excited to go and clean the dishes right now? You might even fucking listen to this podcast and be like, fuck it, man, he's right. Yeah, I kind of want to do the dishes. It would feel good. And so that's what this guy, or what we helped him figure out. That's kind of the point of the coaching program, is to show you you're allowed to work on your sex life or your business or your body or your friends or whatever it is that you want out of joy, out of excitement, rather than I should do this, I have to do this, I'm running out of time and I need to do this, I must do this, I'm a bad person if I don't do this, I'm a beta male cock if I don't do this. You'll just procrastinate. Like procrastinating the fucking dishes or the homework. So we're here to help you feel good. He goes on to say, going forward, I will continue what I'm doing, but more of it, more night game, more dating apps, more day game. I'll be more flexible with my schedule to fit in dates during the week. I'm far from where I want to be, and that's okay. Yes, it is. Present me is good, but future me will be unstoppable. I love that. Much love to all of you in this community, and keep on crushing your goals. Please post your achievements in the Discord. The Discord that he's talking about is our members-only Discord that any coaching client gets to stay in for the rest of their life. It's basically free coaching for the rest of their life, as I will be there hyping you up. Amazing. Beautiful. So I'm really freaking, in case it's not clear, proud of this guy. He did a hell of a lot. So did his brother, and maybe I'll do a separate video on his brother. His brother's only just finishing up right now. They finished up at slightly different times, but yeah, really, really, really fucking proud of this guy. And hopefully this was useful to all of you. If you want the coaching, you know where to find me down below. We have payment plans, and I'm very happy to jump on a free call with you and discuss any fears you might have. I said this earlier in the video, no sales techniques. I'm not going to use a bunch of bullshit fucking manipulation on you and try and get you to sign up. You either want to sign up or you don't, or you're not sure, and I can help you make that decision. And whatever decision you make will be absolutely beautiful. If you sign up, beautiful. If you don't sign up, beautiful. I'll still give you some coaching and, send you on your way and tell you some things that might help you, and you can go off and do them on your own or see another coach or whatever you want to do. So links in the description to that. Like I said, we have payment plans. Very happy to figure out something that makes it work for you. Links in the description. Love to all of you. Love to this guy. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there, crush those goals. And if you want my help, the coaching is right here. I'm right here. I would love for you to reach out and we can help you. You've been sitting around trying to achieve your goals on your own, making a little bit of progress, but nowhere near what you know you're capable of. Time to get serious. Ravi got serious by joining my coaching, following in my footsteps, and creating his own kick-ass coaching business, motivating other people and changing the world. Joe had a ton of sex and learned to open up deeply with women. He started his own successful photography and dating business, quit his job, and he's earning lots of money. Jack went all in with his sex life, moved across the country to pursue his dreams, had a bunch of wild sex and a threesome, quit porn, and made connections in the LA party scene. Click the link to coaching in the description below. It's time to go all in with this thing and do this thing for real.